In a vast underground bunker, dimly lit by flickering lights, Amelia, the leader of the last human colony, stands before a large screen, projecting the remains of Earth's desolate landscape. Cracked land, devoid of greenery, stretches for miles, while blackened skies rumble with toxic storms. Amelia has led her people here for years, but their supplies are dwindling. A choice looms. Should they abandon Earth or attempt to rebuild it? Tension crackles among the colony leaders as they debate their fate. Amelia's face, normally calm and resolved, shows the first signs of doubt as she contemplates the enormity of the decision. Amelia walks the dark, narrow corridors of the colony, surrounded by whispering voices. She stops to watch a small group of children playing with broken toys in the corner, their faces pale and weary. Families huddle close together, their movements slow from hunger and exhaustion. Every day, survival becomes harder. She clenches her fists, knowing she must decide soon. Her mind drifts back to the history of their colony, how they barely escaped the wars that destroyed civilization, how they fought to keep hope alive. But now, the weight of leadership feels crushing. In a secret chamber, Amelia meets with Zane, the head scientist, who has been working tirelessly on two solutions. The first, a spaceship capable of reaching distant habitable planets, and the second, a machine designed to terraform Earth. Both options come with risks. Zane explains that the spaceship's fuel reserves are limited, and their chances of surviving in space are slim. On the other hand, the terraforming machine has never been tested, and failure could mean the end of humanity. Amelia is torn. Zane presses her, knowing their time is running out. Amelia holds a meeting with the colony's council, a group of hardened survivors. Voices rise as they argue. Some want to rebuild Earth, believing it's the only home they've ever known. Others think their survival lies in the stars. Tensions escalate as personal loyalties and fears surface. Amelia watches as the debate spirals out of control. She calls for silence, her voice commanding, but inside she feels more lost than ever. Late that night, Amelia lies in her small, Spartan quarters, staring up at the ceiling. Memories flood her. Her parents, who died in the wars, her childhood before the collapse, the brief moments of peace she once knew. She turns to look at an old photograph of Earth in its glory, with blue skies and green forests. She wonders if that beauty could ever return. Amelia closes her eyes, seeking the courage to make a choice. The next morning, Amelia gathers a group of scientists and explorers to test the spaceship. They suit up and enter the dark, metallic vessel, their faces a mixture of hope and fear. As they power up the engines, the ship hums to life, vibrating with raw power. Amelia stands at the control room, watching every movement on the screen, her heart pounding. The launch is a success. For a moment, a flicker of hope rises among the colony. But suddenly, an alert blares. The engines are overheating. Amelia orders an emergency return, her face tight with frustration. Back at the colony, people are growing restless. Rumors spread about the failed mission, and faith in Amelia's leadership starts to wane. She walks through the colony's halls, hearing the murmurs of doubt, sensing the fear in their eyes. A group of rebels forms, demanding immediate action. They threaten to take matters into their own hands if she doesn't act soon. Amelia feels the pressure mounting. The colony is in disarray. Fires rage through the corridors, and people are running for their lives. Amelia fights her way through the chaos, searching for Zane. She knows he holds the key to saving the colony. Meanwhile, the rebels have taken control of the spaceship, preparing for launch. Yarrick stands at the helm, determined to leave Earth behind. But Amelia is not ready to give up. Amelia reaches Zane's lab, finding him injured but alive. He explains that the flaw in the machine is fixable, but they need to act fast. Amelia makes a snap decision. They will fix the machine and give Earth one last chance. She rallies her remaining allies, gathering what little strength they have left. The colony's survival depends on this final gamble. Amelia and her team rush to the surface, where the terraforming machine sits dormant. They work quickly, fixing the flaw and preparing it for another test. The sun is setting, casting an eerie glow. Amelia takes a deep breath as they activate the machine once more. The ground trembles beneath their feet, and the air hums with energy. But will it work? Meanwhile, aboard the spaceship, Yarrick prepares for launch. The rebels are on edge, knowing that if they leave now, there's no turning back. As the engines roar to life, Yarrick hesitates for a moment, staring out at the desolate earth below. Doubt flickers in his mind, but he pushes it aside, determined to escape. The terraforming machine roars to life. Slowly, the dead soil begins to shift, turning from gray to brown to green. Amelia watches in awe as grass sprouts from the ground, and the air becomes fresher. For the first time in years, it feels like Earth is coming back to life. But the machine is unstable. It's drawing too much power, and if they don't shut it down soon, it could overload. Amelia faces a terrible choice. Shut down the machine and save the colony's power supply, or let it run and risk destroying everything. She looks around at her team, knowing they're counting on her. With a heavy heart, she decides to let the machine run. If this is their last chance, she's willing to take it. Back at the colony, the people watch in awe as the surface begins to change. For the first time in years, they see hope. But the power levels are dropping fast, and the lights begin to flicker. Panic spreads through the colony as people fear the worst. Amelia's voice comes over the intercom, urging them to stay calm and trust in the process. On the spaceship, Yarrick gets word of the changes happening on the surface. He's torn between his desire to leave and the hope that Earth might be saved. The rebels are divided, some wanting to stay and see what happens, others pushing to launch. Tensions rise as Yarrick makes a decision that will change everything. The machine reaches critical levels. The ground shakes violently, and the air crackles with energy. Amelia and her team are forced to retreat, watching from a distance as the machine does its work. The sky turns from black to blue, and the first signs of life return to the land. But the machine is on the verge of collapse. Amelia races back to the colony, knowing they have little time left. She rallies the people, urging them to prepare for the worst. But even as they brace for disaster, hope begins to grow. The changes on the surface are real, and for the first time, it seems like Earth might have a future. The spaceship is moments away from launch when Yarrick makes a fateful decision. He aborts the launch, choosing to stay on Earth and see if the machine can truly save the planet. The rebels are furious, but Yarrick stands firm. He knows they have a chance to rebuild, and he's not willing to give that up. As the machine reaches its final stages, the colony holds its breath. The power flickers. One last time, and then silence. The machine shuts down, its work complete. Amelia and her team return to the surface, finding a transformed world. Green fields stretch as far as the eye can see, and the air is fresh and clean. For the first time in years, Earth feels alive again.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fun songs as well as interesting and enjoyable stories.